There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on. When you find people who need your help, you help them. No matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Rise in the Force.
Take care of us, little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
The Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
Hello there. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Nerdy Cantina, where we are going to be discussing all things Star Wars, including the latest series to drop on Disney Plus, which is Star Wars: The Acolyte. Specifically, we're going to be discussing the first 2 episodes that have dropped thus far, but this is going to contain spoilers, so you have been warned. If you have not seen this show as of yet, stop what you're doing, take this video, put it in your watch later list, and you can come back and watch it after you've had a chance to see Star Wars: The Acolyte, first 2 episodes anyway. But hey, we're happy that you're here. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. We're going to be taking your comments and questions, so let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. And if you're joining us live on a replay, we thank you so much for being with us. I'm your host, Ryan of And I Quote Channel. And boy, do we have a panel of special guests for you on this episode. First time, I think, ever that we're going to be having 6 people in this studio. This is where the fun begins. Please welcome one of my co-pilots, good friends. Jen is back. Hello, Jen. How are you?
Hey, Ryan. I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me tonight.
Well, we're very happy that you're here. And also, finally, she is back from some distant Jedi training, Padawan training, however you want to call it, that she was doing overseas. But now she's back where she belongs on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple with me as her Jedi Master. She's my young Padawan learner. She is the one and only Christie, a.k.a. Snips & Co. _ on Instagram. Hey, Snips, welcome back. How are you?
Hello. I'm very happy to be back. So excited.
You should be. And we're very happy to have you back here on Coruscant with the rest of us awesome-tacular people. So with that being said, also joining us is someone who's responsible for the great thumbnails, the great backgrounds, a lot of the new graphics we've been using here on And I Quote Channel. Please welcome the one and only Case, the Dutch Star Wars guy. Hello, Case. How are you?
Hello. Glad to be here. Looking forward to discuss The Acolyte with some people because I only did reviews by myself and I'm curious to see what other people think of the show.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting for you. It's going to be educational, I would say. Well, we thank you for being with us, good sir. And also joining us is someone who's also familiar with what is known as the Nerdy Cantina. He was just walking by one day. He's just casually strolling by. He thought, well, I like Star Wars, but maybe there's more out there. Yes, there is. Please welcome the host and producer of the All-Star Fandom, Joe Dion. What's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going, everybody? It's been a while, man. I don't remember the last time I was on here, but yeah, just passing by, I heard The Acolyte, and I was like, yeah, let me just pop in and see what everybody else thinks about this.
Well, we're thankful that you're here, good sir. It's good to see you. We hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. And also joining us is someone who's brand new, in a way, to this channel. He's been featured on a previous episode of what is known as And I Quote. Please go back and watch that episode with this young man known as Wally McNair. Wally is here in the Nerdy Cantina. Don't worry. First round of drinks, first round of food is on me, buddy. Wally is here. Hello, Wally. How are you?
Sadness, Sith Lord, Sith life.
Okay, I see what you did there. All right, well, we won't be welcoming him back anytime soon. Gonna have to take my blaster out, put a bit of a, injury there in your chest, toss a coin over to the bartender, and say, "Sorry about the mess."
Hey, just shoot like a stormtrooper. It'll be all right.
Wow. Okay. This is getting heated, and we've only been here for 2 minutes. Fantastic. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out, Wally. No, I'm just kidding.
Ryan, this is what you paid me for. I'm here to be a destructive force of great nature.
Just a grenade rolling in the room, I feel like.
You know, things we put up with in the studio. But we thank
what's
all
that
of
lyric? What's that lyric? I came in like a wrecking ball.
you. Yeah, that's a song in a video I would rather not remember or watch ever again. No thanks, Smiley. No thanks. But anyway, what I do like to say is that we're happy that every single one of you is here, including the Sith Lords. They're fine. We can make friends with certain people. Yeah. It's fine, no problem. But listen, once again, this is going to be spoiler heavy. So if you haven't seen the show, you've been warned. So I want to give our panelists just a moment to think about this first question that I'm going to pose to the round table. So I'll go ahead and start with this. So the first question I have for this panel is, when you heard that this series was happening, it was in development, you started seeing pictures, you started seeing the trailers and the marketing campaigns that were coming out, you saw some of the interviews that were featured with the creator of the show and Dave Filoni and people working behind the scenes, some of the actors, some of the actresses, people who were taking part in this process. What was your feeling about all of this with the marketing going in before you actually saw the show? So for me, I like the trailers. I didn't really care much for the posters, the photos, the photos and all that stuff are a dime a dozen. For me, it's the trailer. The trailer. Now, granted, we've seen great trailers for horrible projects, and we've seen bad trailers for really good projects, right? It's a give and take. It's a case-by-case basis. But from what I heard about this, the fact that it's set so many years before any of the events that happen in the Star Wars cinematic universe or some of the television series for that matter, I was genuinely excited. It's like, finally. Nothing that has to connect to the Skywalkers, nothing has to connect to this, that, and the other. None of the other characters that have been mentioned are really, a part of this whole thing. This is all fresh, new ground we're getting into here, and I'm excited about that. And then the casting notices came out. You got Trinity from Matrix being in this thing, Carrie-Anne Moss. You got two young women who have grown up tremendously well on screen, whether it's Amanda Stenberg, who I remember best as Rue in the Hunger Games movie. Sorry about your death. But she was fantastic in that. She was fantastic. And then you hear Daphne Keane after all these. I mean, she's done projects here and there outside of Logan, but I didn't really give much thought to it. But the fact that I found out she was going to be a part of this series, like, oh, so you get Rue, X-23, and you get Trinity in the same show. That's awesome.
Wild.
That's freaking awesome. Like, I want it. I want to see all of it. Very curious to see how far some of these young actresses have come so far in their careers. And boy, we'll get into some of the major scenes and impacts that they made during the course of these first two episodes anyway. So those were my thoughts. I was very excited. Trailer sold me. First teaser trailer sold me immediately. I'm like, yes, this is new. This is different. This is fresh. This is a little bit different. It's a murder mystery kind of deal going on. Okay, what's going to happen with this? Where can we go with this potentially? So those are my thoughts. So Jen, what were your thoughts about this going in?
Actually very exciting, because at the last celebration, they basically announced a whole brand new timeline of movies and TV shows and what basically the plan was for the next coming years of Star Wars. So the fact that we're starting here, I found it very exciting and, in my opinion, a good place to start, because we have a whole plethora of the High Republic book series that was well received by the fans, that are very well loved. And a lot of fans have been wanting this. They've been wanting some stories in the Star Wars universe that are in a different timetable, seeing Jedi in a different setting, how they functioned. So we're finally getting that. So overall, very exciting, very intriguing. I love that we actually have a murder mystery in Star Wars. And not to go too far, because I know we're going to discuss a lot, but with what we got in the first two episodes, I really like the POV that they're taking it in, where we got some information to start with, but then it still leaves mystery to, well, why is this happening? What's the nitty gritty of it? So with everything that I saw leading up to it, and then now having seen the two episodes, I'm here for it and I want more of it. And then don't forget Mr. Lee Jung-jae from Squid Games. Also very good casting.
Okay. I haven't seen Squid Game, but it's funny though, because when I saw the trailer, I thought, wait, Ken Watanabe's in this? Because he sounds, I'm sorry to say this, he really sounds like a 40-year-old version of Ken Watanabe from Last Samurai, who's a great actor. He's been in so many different movies and properties over the years, including Godzilla. And I thought, wait a minute, Ken Watanabe, you look very young and different in this. You shaved your beard, your hair grew out. Look what you've done, man. You got a Curious Case of Benjamin Button thing going on here, son. What's the deal?
Well, Ryan, here, I'm sorry to overstep. Here's something that I know you'll like. This actor specifically learned English for this show, and he was inspired. His character was inspired by Qui-Gon.
Okay, well, hence the reason he's got a bit of long hair in the background. Okay, cool. He's got a bit of a a little bit of a ponytail going on there. All right, that's cool. That is really cool. I was not aware of that, in the words of my good friend Wayne Campbell. So thanks for sharing that with us. I was not aware. What about you, Snips? You're a bit younger than some of our Jedi here, and you're our young apprentice. What were your thoughts on this going in?
I was definitely excited. I might not have been as excited as like other shows just because it was something new. So I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, oh, I get to see more of this character. It was like something completely new, but I was like excited. And then what really sold me was like, even while I saw the show, but even before the show, when it was just photos or just a little bit from the trailers, like my favorite thing about it is definitely the costuming. Even like the species, all of them look so cool, but all the robes, like the Golden High Republic robes, that is my favorite part. I just love the costuming. So that looked really beautiful.
Yeah, get me those costumes now. I want to go to another convention as Jedi Master Soul. Sounds really good. And he's cool. He's a good character, which I'll talk more about later. But I dig it. You're a big fan of the costuming department. By the way, well done to everybody in the costuming department and the props and everything too. That was well done, guys. Well done.
The scenes, the setting, the location, well done. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like the costuming specifically, but that's just me. Wally, I got to ask you, man. What were your sorry. Wally, what were your thoughts going into this series known as The Acolyte?
Oh man, I tried to just go into it with a blank canvas because I just didn't want to have any real expectations. I just wanted it to be good, and I've been waiting for something that was really showing Jedi been able to do what they do, something that had that Force Unleashed feeling to it whenever there was conflict and there was things happening and people getting to really show their hand-to-hand skills. And, I just wanted something cool. And that was that, I didn't read too much, didn't look at too many insider things. I just kind of waited for it to come. I was excited, but I just kind of waited for it to come out so I could just see what it was going to be and take it from that.
Oh, cool. That's I can dig that. I can certainly understand that for sure. What about you, Dion? Just out of curiosity, what were your thoughts and what did you make of all this going into it before you saw it?
Well, going into it, and just to play out what Wally said, I've taken like the last year of not really focusing on like trailers for anything. I still haven't seen a Deadpool trailer, which is wild. So I want to go in with fresh eyes with a lot of things and not have spoilers. But when it comes to this particularly, like being sort of a casual Star Wars fan, I'm always up for new stories. I'm always up for new stories that extend outside of that Skywalker storyline. I think that's where Star Wars does their best work, I feel like. Again, didn't read a lot of books or comics growing up or anything like that, or books, but just seeing another side of the Jedi, and on top of that, seeing the combat. I do like action, so seeing the fight scenes reminded me of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon a little bit. It was really dope how they pulled all that off. So from that standpoint, it's a murder mystery. There's a lot of action in it. I'm enjoying the story that they're crafting that doesn't have anything to do with like anything else that like I've seen personally.
Right on, man. Right on. Dutch Star Wars guy, the one and only Case. What were your thoughts on this going in?
Well, as Jen already said, like a couple of years, they started with this book series called The High Republic. And when they introduced that as a book series, I was just thinking, is that really the best starting point? But I suppose it gathered some fans, and I finally managed to read some of the books last year. And I thought they were pretty good. And what I was very happy about is that, it is set in a very different time period, because the 66 years between The Phantom Menace and Rise of Skywalker is when everything happens. And I'm a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic, for example. Let's go like hundreds and thousands of years in the past or in the future to a completely different timeline, introduce us to new characters and show a different side of the galaxy. So that was very exciting about The Acolyte as well. Like, hey, we're finally showing what we've been writing about, and we're actually seeing some of the characters of the books in this show already, which is very cool. So just the fact that it was such a blank slate, and it was like completely new characters, completely new era. That was very exciting to me. So I was very excited. I thought the trailer looked good as well. And well, I'm happy to say that I'm enjoying the show so far, or at least based on the first 2 episodes.
Well, that's good to know. We appreciate you sharing, all of you, for sharing those thoughts with us. Do appreciate it. And we appreciate those of you who are chiming in the chat. Nerdy Entrepreneur is here. He says, hey, what's up, Nerdy Entrepreneur? Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. Feel free to share any thoughts about this or anything else going on in Star Wars in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this if you're joining us live or what is known as a replay. We thank you so much for being with us. So with that being said, Snips, what are your initial thoughts on these first 2 episodes?
Okay, I like them a lot. I don't think I'm to love yet just because it's the first 2 episodes. Like, I could definitely get to that point, but I like it. And like, I think that's the whole thing that I'm feeling is like, ooh, I want more. Like, I want to see like a twist, like especially with them being twins. Like, I feel like that happens a lot, but I could definitely see them doing something to go to that next level. But since we're kind of, and I don't want it now, because what would the fun be just getting everything in the first 2 episodes? So I'm like there. I love the way they set it up. I think it's a very good first 2 episodes. It's not like can't say it's the best thing ever yet, but I think it's very good.
Well, that's impressive, most impressive. With that being said, Jen, what about you? Initial thoughts on these first 2 episodes?
Very good. What I loved about these 2 episodes was in terms of the storytelling, they did give us a lot of information, but also not everything. And to what Christy just said, they left a lot of things that does really spark intrigue, because now I'm very curious, like what happened on this planet that these 4 Jedi were stationed on. Both twins had no idea that either of them were alive. And before I get too far into it, but like with moments like that, it brings up more questions, which I think is very well crafted, especially for a murder mystery show. And like I said, at the top of the start, the POV that they're taking, like we know who's doing the murders, but now it's like, well, why, how does she come to this Sith Lord who is now her master and training her, and they've been training in secret? And what's the Sith Lord's vendetta? Like, how does he know these people? I know there's a connection with May, but all the questions that it brings up, and I really can't wait to see how the story unfolds going forward.
Right on. Wally, what are your initial thoughts on these first 2 episodes of Acolyte?
Oh man, overall, I really enjoyed it. There was a few things pacing wise with some of the scene changes that just were a little odd to me, but it also felt like it was paying homage to the old Star Wars movies and how those scenes would cut and everything. So it wasn't like, it didn't take me out of the moment. It just was kind of like, I get it, but I would love to see just more of the unique take on a story that's so unique and how things move and whatever. But overall, I was extremely happy with it. All the fight scenes were well choreographed, looked beautiful. Even my man, the Jedi who was pretending to be Jiren from Dragon Ball Z, with the lack of ability to touch him while he was in that state. Like, I just love seeing those type of things in motion, because that's what I've been wanting to see from Jedi and Sith for so long. So all of that like had me from the beginning. Like, it didn't matter. The story could have been terrible and I still would have been somewhat happy. But the story is good. So, tie that together. So far, it could always get messed up later, but hopefully not. So far, so good for me.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. What about you, Case? What are your thoughts on these first 2?
Yeah, I thought for a completely new show, it was a solid start. Like, there's a lot of intrigue going on already. Like, initially, I wasn't sure. Like, wait, isn't this the same character? Is this Gollum Smeagol type situation? Oh no, they're twin sisters, that kind of stuff. And then, one of them is killing people, and the other one wants to stop them. And then they don't even know that they're alive because something happened 16 years ago. So there's a lot already explained about what happened, and we still have no idea what happened, which is cool. So I'm very curious to see when we finally get to see the flashbacks of what happened. But yeah, I'm invested. I'm looking forward to next week's episode already.
I know. Can it get here already? I mean, I'm dying here. Christy, everyone in this building, we're dying here. We want more. Feed us more. But hey, we digress. Dion of All Star Fandom, thoughts on these first 2 episodes of Acolyte?
I think everybody sort of touched on it. It's like the stuff that you don't know, you're more intrigued about. You're getting intrigued by it. It's like, okay, where are we going now? Because with the Smeagol Gollum thing that's perfect. Because as soon as she woke up, I said to myself, like, did she dream that? Or then we go into these other parts where we're figuring it out slowly that, okay, there might be a twin, there might be someone who looks like her or whatever. So for me, again, coming into it, new characters, new corner of the galaxy, new Jedi, new everything. There's a new story that they can tell. There's a new story that, even casual fans can just hop onto and be like, oh, this isn't connected to anything. Just jump right in here. And for the first 2 episodes, they set up a lot, but they set up a lot where like it's enough to keep you coming back. It's like, okay, I want to know about the Jedi Wookiee. Like, I want to know, never had an idea that existed in the world of Star Wars. So seeing new stuff that just, almost comes out of left field for me, I'm like, okay, I'm all in because I want to see where this goes. I want to see where it goes next week. How many episodes is it supposed to be
8
for the season?
8.
8. So we're 2 in already with 6 to sort of tie up the first season at what, 40 minutes a pop. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be one heck of a ride. So here's what I thought. At first I did think that Osha dreamed the whole thing, that she killed. And by the way, this is one of the things that kind of upset me. I feel like they wasted Carrie-Anne Moss in like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Like, why would you use Trinity, one of the most well-known characters in sci-fi history?
Yeah,
and
she can't
kill
be
her
dead,
off
right?
in the first 5 minutes. I'm
Definitely
like,
those
how much
flashbacks.
money did you pull up to her doorstep and say, Carrie-Anne Moss, we really want you for the show, but we're only really going to use you for 5 minutes?
No, we're going to see her again because I remember in the trailers. So spoiler alert. Right now, the character.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
earmuffs, Dion.
Earmuffs, people, earmuffs. The character is dead, but we're definitely going to get flashback scenes because in the show they said specifically 4 Jedi and Dara's one of them. So we're going to see Carrie again, just in the flashback scenes that are going to come unfold in these episodes. But no, at the same time, I was like, it's Trinity.
It's still a waste.
It's Trinity.
It was pretty. I was not expecting that quick.
I mean, they hint that there's going to be this big fight in the trailer between her and this mystery woman, who we find out later is, May.
It was still a really good fight, though.
It was really dope, yeah.
Oh no, it was great. But then when she dies, I'm like, dude, this is Trinity. You don't kill Trinity.
I have thoughts on it though when we get there.
You just don't kill her off after 5 minutes. That's ridiculous. She was like touted as one of the biggest names in this show.
They need to do it to establish parameters, I believe. I think by letting it go that way early on, it now
like Game of
sets
Thrones.
up. Yeah, it sets up everything else,
Well, that and one of the things that I noticed was because I've already seen these episodes twice. I really enjoy these episodes. May says to Endara, a Jedi only pulls her weapon with the intention to kill. But I'm like, you just gaslit her because she pulled it out to defend herself because you're throwing knives at her head.
Yeah.
So the initial draw was just to protect herself, but then she caught her off guard and got her to pull her guard down by saying that to her to cause her to reflect, like, wait, why did I pull out my lightsaber? Which led to her, in my opinion, taking advantage of the way of the Jedi and how Endara carries herself. That's how I read it, which is why she got taken out the way she did. So that's after the second viewing of it. That's how I read it.
No, that's fine. But so my initial thoughts were, you killed off Trinity in 5 minutes, which is beyond ridiculous, in one of the best fight scenes that we've seen in Star Wars, and yet at the very end, she still ends up dead. I'm like, okay, we wasted somewhat of that. But anyway, outside of that craziness that started the whole gosh darn thing off, and then she wakes up, and I'm thinking, was that whole thing just a nightmare of hers? Like, did she dream that whole thing? Because if that was a dream, hey, Carrie-Anne Moss, we'll see you in another 5 minutes. Great. No, she was dead, sadly. But that was one of my first initial thoughts of the series. And then at the end, I thought, wow, Amanda Stenberg playing two very different characters with two very different personalities. One with regular short hair and then one with really long dreads. And she's got the whole cloak and dagger thing going on. Literally cloak and dagger. Literally.
Yeah.
And she's got the mask on and she's like ready to fight. She's like, listen, I'm here to kill you. Attack me. Just attack me. Give me something to work with. And they're like, no, I will not fight you. I am not going to waste my time. You know, or I'm not going to force this I'm not going to, you know, play into your mind games. But anyway, so for me, my thoughts are this. You killed off Trinity too soon. Amanda Stenberg playing two very different characters is ballsy, extremely ballsy, but it works. It works really effectively. The new characters, some of these new actors and stuff like that, but at least for me, they're, you know, just new. I know they've been in the business a long time, but still. Some of the new characters were great. But one thing that I'm very curious to hear what other people think about. I'm very, very curious. So let's see if I can find this here. Okay, Jen, you've been holding out on us because you're in this show. I honest to God, I'm watching these scenes with Vanessa Rowe, which is the character we see here on the Titantron, and I'm thinking to myself, Jen has been keeping this from me for 8 months. And the fact that Jen is one of the lead cast members in this series and failed to tell any of us, which, by the way, I understand because it's part of the NDA. I'm like, Jen, you made
I'm not even on the press tour. That's how secret it is.
You're in the show.
No one knows.
In the show. So when I'm watching these episodes, I'm thinking, dang, Jen, dang, you made it to the top. And you're playing Vanessa Rowe, which is insane.
Yeah,
So-
like she's one of the this character is from is one character from the High Republic series. She's I think 100 years old at this point in the time frame.
Oh wow.
Yeah. She was 16 in the books, and then she's like 100 something now. But it's funny because, like, on all my book community things, everyone's like, why is she my least favorite character? But in my defense, I think the way that she grew up, I feel her book character would have became that type of adult, like very strict and like
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
I'm just so happy that Jen made it to Hollywood and now she's in the show. I mean, honestly, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I've never seen a Jedi Master like this before. This is all new to me.
I was very excited, and what I was excited about, because I have opinions on Hollywood and the representation of bald men and women overall with character arcs and things like that. Right. But anytime I see a character that's bald in a positive light, I get really excited. So the fact that this particular character is human-like and not so. They didn't put a lot of prosthetics on her to redo her shape. It's just the natural curvature of her body. So it really shows that she is a bald female. So for me, I'm just like, yes.
All things aside, you know, as much as I want to say that Jen is actually in this show and playing this character,
it is a dream.
It is sort of a dream, but I will say she looks very similar, like it looks like they could be twins. I don't know. But
plot twist. It's another set of twin story.
So Jen, you know what you have? Jen, you know what you can do now. You can just cosplay as this character and meet her and see
I
how
think you
much
have
you look
to
like.
now at this point.
Oh man, that would be really cool. Yeah, I should do that.
Green.
You should cosplay as Vanessa Rowe. I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh you can totally pull it off. So that was one of the things that stood out to me during these first two episodes. One of my initial thoughts was, Jen's in the show. Like I'm blown away. I'm blown. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, sorry, back to reality here for just a minute. So I liked how, you know, there were discussions being had. And then the other thing that really stood out to me was how much Daphne Keenan and Amanda Stenberg have grown as actresses. I mean, Amanda Stenberg playing two very different characters, and then Daphne Keenan playing a Jedi, a Padawan learner, an apprentice, I should say, to one of the other characters. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I love her.
Yeah, I thought
Jackie's the best.
She's got the makeup and the prosthetics and everything else on her, and I'm like, wait a minute, that she looks an awful lot like Daphne. Is that Daphne? Is that Daphne? She's. I thought she was going to show up as like a human character, but no, she's a alien type kid. I'm like, whoa, girl, look at you. You're in the big leagues. Like I mean, you already were with Logan, but I'm just saying, like, this is a whole other ball game. You know.
To be fair, these first episodes already have so many people in makeup and prosthetics and everything, and it looks really good.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Even Yord's Padawan, I was just like, wow, that is gorgeous. Like it's fantastic.
I couldn't believe it, to be honest.
By the way, was that the first time we see one of the Zygerians in live action?
I think so. We have not.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we've seen one in live action before. I could be wrong, but I think it's the first time.
Look cool.
All of it did, honestly. So anyway, yeah. So a lot of the performances, some of the actors who have really, come along in their careers stood out to me. I thought the action scenes were great. The fight choreography reminded me something when Trinity, sorry, Carrie-Anne Moss's character Indara,
we're just gonna call her Trinity. It's okay.
I mean, it literally looked like it came out of the Matrix movie, and then the next fight scene looked like it came out of a John Wick movie. And I'm thinking, did they hire the John Wick stunt people?
Trinity is plugged in, and now she is in a Star Wars like Matrix.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I have envisioned in my head, and I'm so sad no one has made this GIF. Case, make this GIF. Where she gets where she calls Tank and says, "I need to download on Star Wars." Where it's the helicopter. Where she's getting the download for the helicopter, and she turns to Neo, says, "Let's go," and then she goes into Star Wars.
Oh God, hey, anything can happen, right? But yeah, the fight scenes reminded me of Matrix, John Wick, some of the other fight choreography. It reminded me of that. I thought the fight scenes were great. The storyline is good. The fact that there are two of them and one of them's dark, one of them wants to figure out why this is all happening and all that jazz. The new droid, Pip, I think is kind of cool. That's a new kind of techo gizmo she's got in her pocket. It's like, oh, this droid is so small, it can fit into your pocket. Like, that's a new toy that's going to sell millions of dollars. We all know that we're all going to get one. Because we want to.
We need Pip now. Can we just invent Pip now?
I think it's a cool droid character. You don't understand a gosh darn thing he's bleeping at, but when you see him, it's like, oh, he's very useful. It's like having a Swiss Army knife.
Same goes for BB-8 and R2-D2 and Chopper, and we still have an idea of what they're saying anyway.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Well,
especially Chopper.
Yeah, Pip was panicking a number of times during this episode, but it's all right. It happens. Droids panic, when ships are going down, people are about to die. Like, So anyway, long story short, I like the performances. I like the fight scenes. Didn't like the fact that you killed off Carrie-Anne Moss in less than 5 minutes of screen time. That's ridiculous beyond
That's
measure.
ballsy, though, because I think a lot of people were expecting, okay, this is Trinity from the Matrix, and she's going to kick ass, and she kicks ass, and then they kill her. Like, what? It was like, oh my God, they actually did that.
I actually did not see that. In the words of Quicksilver, you didn't see that coming? No, I didn't. So, but anyway, so yeah, my initial thoughts are this show has got my attention. There's some new characters there's a lot of new characters being introduced that I'm digging. Daphne Keane is fantastic. I feel like Daphne Keane's like the smarter of the two between her and her master. Like the master wants to go in guns blazing, and then the Padawan learner is like, well, wait a minute. What if we did it this way? And then Jedi Master Soul's like, I like this one. She knows what she's doing. Let's let Daphne Keane control the screen here. Let her make the plans because Yord is he's Yord, and he just wants to go in guns blazing. By the way, when he's like, hey, this guy's going to join us on the mission, okay? I don't know about him. He's Yord. Well, what's so wrong about it? Well, he's York. I can't stand him. So Daphne Keane is just like, oh God, I don't know. I feel like Daphne Keane stole the show in certain sequences, but that's just me. But yeah, no, this show's got my attention. I cannot wait to see where this goes. I'm very, very excited. Do not get me wrong. So much mystery, like the monotone guy who's calling the shots, who's the real puppet master behind May. Very curious to find out who that is, whoever it is. Maybe they're wearing a mask, maybe they're wearing a helmet. I don't know.
I have a theory.
They're carrying a red blade, so clearly we know that their intentions are. And the other thing is, you've killed off 2 of the 4 people on your hit list. Now you're going to drag out the last 2 targets in the last 6 episodes because you can't just kill off 2 more characters in 2 episodes.
And I think that actor that just got killed off, the second Jedi, that actor was in Game of Thrones, I believe.
That's Tommen Baratheon from Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has experience dying.
He also dies in 1917.
Oh, really? The Sam Mendes war movie?
He's another Sean Bean. He gets
killed. Which, by the way, I saw 1917. I don't remember him from the movie, but then again, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. But it is a really good movie.
There are 2 guys going on the mission, and it's one of the 2.
Oh, it's one of the 2? Okay.
He dies about 40 minutes in.
Oh, so that's who that guy was. Okay. Impressive. I mean, hey, you have experience in dying in movies and TV. Well, way to go, buddy. Good paycheck.
So do you want to die in this as well?
Apparently, I don't know. But yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of things that worked for me in this, but I'm very curious to see where this goes. So for me, it's got my intrigue, it's got my attention wholeheartedly. I'm very excited to see where some of these characters go, especially Daphne Keene. I am so excited to see where she goes. She's coming up with all these plans. She's driving the ship. And by the way, let's not forget, this is her first mission. This is the first mission she's ever been on. So she's kind of going into this not really knowing what to expect. This could lead to a million different things for her. So well done, Daphne. Well done. Very curious to see where this goes. So those are the things that stood out to me as far as initial thoughts go. Now, Jen, are there any specific moments or actors, aside from the fact that your doppelganger is in it? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to say it because it's just literally, I feel like you've been keeping this from me for 9 months, and now I'm just finding out. So
I've been keeping it from you for years, Ryan.
I'm so disappointed in you. I still love you, but it's like, geez, girl, come on. I'm your best friend. At least I thought I was one of your BFFs, but I digress.
When it comes to being in Star Wars as an opportunity, I'm not gonna jeopardize that in any way.
No, of course not. Why would you? And once again, this is the Nerdy Cantina talking all things Star Wars, including the spoiler alert for the first 2 episodes of what is known as the Acolyte. Do not forget to like and share this. And if you have any comments or questions or concerns about Star Wars, by all means, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. And if you're joining us live or what is known as a replay, thank you so much for being with us. So, Jen, positives and negatives that stood out from these 2 episodes.
Like I said before, the positive is definitely the storytelling. I like the angle they're doing. One of the things there's really a lot to talk about if you really want to get into it. To go back to the fight scenes, I love the different fighting style we're seeing with the martial arts choreography and how the Jedi actually use that instead of going for the lightsaber, where I feel like in other Star Wars storytelling, they always go for the lightsaber right away. And this is the first time where we see Jedi more on the peacekeeping side, and that's really a last resort to pull the saber out unless it's absolutely necessary. And then like when in episode 1 when they're looking for Osha, Yord only pulls it out, I think, to use it as a flashlight like we've seen in the video game. So I thought that was a cool callback. I love the choreography and the staccato-ness of it. The other thing I liked was the very subtle hints of why the Jedi have their downfall a little over 100 years later. You see it in some of the dialogue, and in my opinion, even in the way Yord behaves and how he's so by the book and he does everything by the book, and he thinks that because he's going by the book, it's the right thing to do. Even with Quimmer's comments on the Jedi when he's speaking to May in the apothecary, just like those little subtle hints throughout the 2 episodes. I really like that to show you where the Jedi have come and where they're heading to. It's a nice foreshadowing. One negative that I had was that I don't know how you have fire in outer space on a starship when there's no oxygen, but that's
I have seen this complaint. I've seen this complaint.
I saw that on Twitter.
Have you seen Return of the Jedi?
Yes, I have.
When the Superstar Destroyer catches fire in the cockpit and it
I remember that. I remember that too. I need the few times I've seen that, I'm like, come on. Okay, it's fine. We're here. We're here. That's it. What was the other thing? I did find it interesting that we actually saw for the first time the Barash vow, which is what Torben was doing. Basically the Jedi's version of the vow of silence. We've seen that in literature, but not in live action before. So that was really cool.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I've never seen it. Very interesting stuff. What about you, Wally? Any positives or negatives that stand out in these episodes? Maybe more so the negatives.
I mean, just some of the, like I said, some of the cutscene pacing was like cool. I've seen it before. I would have liked to have seen the transitions a little different, but that's like nitpicking. I did think the vow was dope. It also kind of foreshadows that there's more to that story for that particular character as to why he took this vow, why 10 years. I think they said that he's been in that mode. And it also puts the question of just how strong was he? Because that's the first time I can think of on screen that we've seen a Jedi with that type of force ability being displayed. So as far as the negatives,
Jedi is kind of similar.
Which one?
Luke in The Last Jedi, I feel, is a bit similar.
Yeah. But but I mean, as far as negatives, I mean, I didn't get a role in the show, so that's
Jen did, but none of us got the call. We couldn't even be an extra in the background on Udaba or Ukala, whatever it was.
It was my first time, okay? I want to give me a chance to get to know these people.
This is going to be the running gag of the whole gosh darn show for the next 6-7 weeks, guys. I'm telling you.
I do want to say that I saw people online complaining about the animatronics and things of that nature, and I think it's weird because it just points out that you can't please everybody. Because I remember people complaining because it was too much CGI at one point. So it's like no matter what you do, somebody's gonna find a reason to have a problem with what's happening, and you just got to go for it and do it. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. It's just where people are. I'm glad I'm not a human. I'll just say that.
No. Yeah, exactly. You're something else. Yeah. And this is something I noticed too. And I read some stuff online, didn't read too much into it because I try to just stay away from all that. Because what it is at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it's called noise. People like to make a lot of noise, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe people just want to complain because they have a keyboard in front of them. That's fine, because hey, we all have free will, right, folks? But here's the thing. And this is I haven't consulted Rotten Tomatoes in a very long time, but the fact that the critic rating is at 93 and the audience rating is at a horrible 30%, I'm like, talk about a difference.
Oh, and by the way, that was before the episodes aired.
Okay, but let me. Well, I mean, I checked it. I mean, anyway. When I see 93 and 30, I'm thinking, what is this? This doesn't make any. But then again, I'm like, you know what? Rotten Tomatoes, the whole system, IMDb, this, that, and the other. It's all messy. It's all noise. You shouldn't care. If you want to watch or enjoy something, you go out and you watch it. And if you enjoy it, that's great. And if you don't enjoy it, that's fine. But I saw some thumbnails and stuff online, and I'm just thinking, and I agree with you. You can't please. Bottom line, nothing's perfect. We all know that. And you can't please everyone. That's just a fact. But here's the thing. I like this thing more than all the other stuff I've seen, more recently anyway. Mandalorian is still one of the best things in the world, but the Acolyte is doing really well for 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
I think for me, as a fan of Star Wars, one of the things that annoys me is that, and I understand haters are going to hate. I completely agree, Wally. You're not going to please everyone. And the Star Wars fan base is a very unique animal that I think we all can agree with. But one of the things that I think about sometimes, it's like, if you were to read this in a book, I feel like more people are like, oh no, because it's in a book, it's more acceptable than it is in movie streaming platform. And I'm like, well, it's just a visual storytelling. Yeah, it's not in a book, it's just visual. So why are we getting more about visual stories and not with hard copy written stories like this? Why does it have to be different? And just, this is all art, this is what we're getting, this is what we're receiving. And yeah, we have a right to interpretation and make our comments about it, but not to the point where it's just toxic. I don't like that.
No. I mean, that's almost as bad as the Toxic Avenger movie that came out 40 years ago that nobody saw. So, but yeah, I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole here, but I read some comments on social media and whatnot, and I'm just thinking, gosh, man, what is going on? This is beyond ridiculous. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So, gotcha, understood. Anyway, Case, any negatives that stood out for you on this one, or there were no negatives for you at all?
Look, I like to be more positive. One of the most intriguing things about what's his face again? Torben's death is he took that poison willingly. He was like, I'm just going to kill myself right here because I don't want to deal with the consequences. Like, what happened? That's insane that he just does that. So I'm very curious to find that out, but that's like, that instantly had me hooked. Like, he's just killing himself like that. So that was cool. And, well, people already said fight choreography is great. I like the acting so far. I think the acting across the board is pretty good, especially the leads, I should say. It's the lead actress, but she plays two characters with Osha and May, and I think she does both very well, very convincingly, that I can believe it's two people. One issue that I so far have is it's exposition heavy. It doesn't want to do the flashbacks just yet, and I would really, really love a flashback at some point, because I know it's coming. I just want a little bit more. Like what I really like, for example, with both The Mandalorian Season 1 and Andor Season 1 is that we had these little snippets of flashback sprinkled throughout the first season, and every single time you go into it, you see a bit more about what happened. And I think that maybe could have been done here, because some of the scenes are very exposition heavy that I'm like, yeah, okay, just get to the better stuff, because I'm falling asleep here. But yeah, that's pretty much my only negative that I really have. I think overall it's a pretty solid show so far.
No, I can get that. What about you, Dion? Anything stood out to you that you were kind of like, why did this happen? Negatives maybe? Or is it all sunshine and rainbows like in the Ewok village?
Well, it is summer camp, but
it is summer camp, y'all. It's summer camp, okay?
But
we're going on camping trips, going to carry the canteen and everything.
A few things. Did not know a Toxic Avenger movie was out last year, but that's another conversation for another day.
Years ago.
I look at the positives for this because I wrote it down in my notes. I was like, I like being lost, and that's me continually being intrigued every week. I made an example of like WandaVision. We were 4 or 5 episodes into that, had no clue what was going on. I don't mind. Again, they have 6 episodes to finish up everything, but the slow burn sort of works for me. Again, we talked about a lot of the fighting and stuff there too. I'm always going to be there for that. But enough of the story just to we're getting to know a lot of these characters for the first time. A lot of people are, at least. And that's my biggest positive. I love being lost. You'll keep me every week if you have that. Negatives, I mean, again, not many for me. I mean, not really anything, to be honest with you. Jen, the fire, I was like, I'm believing everything else going. I can believe this too. I was like,
suspension of disbelief, man.
It's just one thing. I'll accept it. It's Star Wars. Yeah. If we can accept other weird things in other universes, I could do the same thing for you.
Yeah, I was like, I could accept that. But no, negative wise, it was really hard for me to pick out anything that I was like just nitpicking with. I'm fine with the slow burn. If it's one flashback episode, cool. I have gotten into the only negative, I will admit, this is a negative. The episode ends at 38 minutes or 35 minutes, and then there's like 10 minutes of credits. And me being conditioned now thinks that there's something at the end of those credits. So
Star Wars doesn't do that.
No, but I'm just conditioned in that way to be like, man,
because of the MCU.
Yeah, it stops at 35
until the credits are over.
Yeah, and it goes to 43. I'm like, wait a minute, like something's got to be in here. So I'll sit there and watch the whole credits. That's the negative.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's funny they don't throw in a Matthew Broderick cameo and say, "You're still here? It's over."
I know, right? You know what? I'll take that.
You could drop a Ferris Bueller reference in there, but real quick, because I've been told by producers certain things are about to happen here. So, Wally, final thoughts on this thing, scale 1 to 5, and if someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things that you, specifically Wally McNair, are doing, where can they follow you?
You can follow me at that tag right there, wherever my finger was at Wally V. Pause. I had to think about that finger comment. Yeah, at Wally V, social media. The show, I love it. So far as everything that I was wanting, and I hope that it's going to be even more than my anticipation or expectations, which would be great. And I'm just for the world expanding, and I'm happy that that's happening. I'm going to give it a 5 right now, or 4.85, 95. I'll do that. Yeah.
4.95.
Pulling a case here and using numbers and decimals.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it that. Yeah.
This is why. Yes. Thanks, Gaze. Wally, thank you so much for being here, kind sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Congratulations on all your success, and congratulations on being a Sith apprentice.
Yeah.
One day you'll be a Sith
Sith
Lord one of
life,
these days.
Sith
When
life.
you graduate from the academy, please give me a call. Want to go to the graduation ceremony and all that stuff and see what's up with my boy Darth Maul.
Yeah, I'm working on converting everybody.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you for being here, good sir. We wish you the best, and we hope you come back and visit us, man. We'd like to have you back.
I'll always come back. I appreciate it. Good to meet all y'all. Y'all are good, solid people. Despite not being Siths, you know what I mean. So,
I'm Empire.
Yeah, he's Empire. He's a Sith Lord.
It's got to be a black or red heart. But you know how it go. I appreciate hanging with y'all for sure.
Take it easy, man. Have a good night, Wally. We appreciate you, man. Such a nice man he is. Good Lord. And he's a Sith Lord. Well, Sith apprentice, anyway. At any rate, well done, Wally. Well done. Keep up the good work. And hey, if you want to like Star Wars and Star Trek because you got your Star Trek pops in the background of your studio, fantastic. But I digress. So, Jen, how about you? Final thoughts on this thing. Scale 1 to 5. And if someone wants to know more about you and your brand new career of being a Hollywood actress and making it big in Lucasfilm, LTD, and the studios down there in Florida, California, wherever they film this thing. Where can they follow you on social media? What do you got?
You can follow me at my 2 handles at Jen Adamina Godowski and at Rocking Your Bald, rocking_your_bald. That is my podcast called Rocking Your Bald. Those are my handles. Personal handle, I'm a nerd. I love all things nerdy. You can follow me as I do stuff. And then Rocking Your Bald is my podcast to talk about alopecia and all other things. With fun educational conversations. Final thoughts on this show. I will actually give this a 5. That could change with the episodes going forward. And I have no idea what's coming next. And I like that.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Jen. We wish you all the best in everything you got going on. And we hope to see you back very, very soon, if not next week, preferably. But in the meantime, enjoy yourself. And may the force be with you, my good friend.
May the force be with you. Thank you, guys.
Take it easy, Jen. Love having you. Such a great person she is. Goodness gracious. Well, here's my thing. Let's see here. Snips, it's been a while. You've been sitting there listening to all these wonderful thoughts and feelings and letting people get their viewpoints out. And you're learning because you're still learning because you're our young apprentice here. But I'm just curious, what do you hope to see from this moving forward?
I cannot wait to see more of Kelnaka. I think the way they ended the second episode was the best way they could have ended it. It's like they hinted at him just enough, like we got to see him, but we didn't see what was going to happen. So I can't wait to see more of him. I really want to see them do something with the twin connection. I need it to be more than, I think they're already hinting at it being more, but I need it to be more than them just being sisters that look identical. Like, I feel like we see that so much. So I think we're definitely going to get something more with that. And I really want to know more about the Sith. Like, there's a lot of questions, and I just hope that they answer all those questions and not just leave us confused.
Valid points. See, this is why you and Daphne Keene's character would get along so well.
I love Jackie. She's my favorite character so far.
She's honestly, she may in fact be my favorite just because of how she's very good at coming up with plans and taking a step back and saying, hey, we don't have to do it this way, we can do it another way and still figure out what's going on, right? She comes up with alternative ways of interpreting, and she's very good at like saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe this person isn't so, maybe we should let them explain first before we go in guns blazing. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a valid point. What about you, Dion? What do you hope to see from this thing moving forward? Or you're just going to draw a big blank and say, you know what, I don't care, I'm just in it for the experience?
I'm in it. Like I'm strapped in because I did have a question before Jen got up and Wally got off too. Was Osha trying to grab the lightsaber every time she was fighting? Is
both
that
times?
Okay,
yeah.
So what's this? What do we think the story is about behind that? That was my biggest question. I forgot to ask.
That is a good point because there is something about the fact that she can't actually use weapons, or at least she doesn't want to. But then she goes for knives anyway, and then she tries to grab the lightsaber. So I'm like, what is that about? Because also at the end of the first fight with Carrie-Anne Moss's character, and the lightsaber just drops on the floor.
I thought she was going to take it.
I was expecting her to pick it up, and she doesn't. So it was like, what's your deal?
Yeah, so okay. I wasn't there. Okay, I'm not alone on that. Appreciate it. But no, I'm definitely in it, man. The Jedi Wookiee at the end, that was the selling point for me for episode 3. In the back of my mind, watching that, I was like, this is gonna go into like the Star Wars Christmas special. Go for it. It was once they go inside the house.
It's going to be Case's favorite episode, if not favorite movie.
I don't know what that just came to my mind when I saw it. Like he ran him off his yard or whatever, and it was like he went in thinking we're going to just transition into like a full-on house.
Yep. It's going to be the sequel to the holiday special that Case has been waiting for.
But other than that, I'm in it, man. I think just from the intrigue of like we don't know what's really going on. I like being, like I said, lost in it. And if I have to give it a score right out the gate, what did Wally give it a 4.95? 4.96. I'll go higher, one higher than him. 100th of a point higher than him. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think this next 6 episodes is going to be pretty dope to sort of see where we get to and see if there's a season 2 or anything else that comes on after that comes out of this too. So I'm excited about it.
That sounds about right. Well, in that case, thank you for sharing those thoughts with us, Dion of All Star Fandom. If someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things that you're doing over there at, what is it, All Star Fandom, where can they follow you on social media, man?
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, All Star Fandom Show. Over on YouTube too is All Star Fandom. Just a show where we celebrate fandoms. I'll have guests on. They'll talk about their specific things. If there's doing fan-made movies, cosplay, whatever under the sun for those fandoms, we talk about and sort of dive a little deeper into it. We're light on the fan toxicity. You don't do any really. We want to highlight the best parts of everything. So, but yeah, gotten into a show now where we go weekly for All Star Prime on Thursdays. We'll weekly deal in between the times where I have other interviews with other people in their fandom. So if you're not doing anything on Thursday night, I'm on. And let's see, every other week I'll have another sort of fandom that we sort of discuss or topic that we discuss. So having fun. It's a small community, but being able to meet people through this, through doing it like this, that's been the plus of doing it all. Met some really incredible people. So, but yeah, that's me. Thanks, Ryan.
Well, no, it's all good. And we thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and definitely check out his show. Check out everything they're doing over there at All Star Fandom. Thank you for being here, man. We hope to see you back here really soon, maybe next week if you got the time to spare or whatever the case may be, depending on everyone's schedules. This will be a lot of fun, man, but it's great to see you. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time on the Cantina, man. Remember, just stay safe out there. Take it easy, man. Such a nice man he is. So what do I got here? Goodness gracious, we talked so much here. We've run the gamut, so to speak. Case, did I ask you this question? What do you hope to see from this bad boy moving forward?
Well, I'm very curious about the dark character with a mechanical voice and a red lightsaber. Like, what's that all about? Because according to Ki-Adi-Mundi and the Phantom Menace, the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. So this is 100 years before that. So is he a Sith or is he something else? I honestly don't know, because to be fair, you don't have to be a Sith with a red lightsaber. Kylo Ren showed that. But I'm very curious about that character who seems to be May's master, and what is he telling May? Is he feeding her some kind of lie? Because May was under the impression that Osha was dead when she was very much alive. I'm also curious to see some kind of connection between the sisters. Are they going to get some kind of forced diet, like what we saw with Rey and Kylo Ren in the sequel trilogy, that they can force Skype and stuff like that? Could be interesting. What we do know is that Osha is not as adept with the Force as May is, because Osha tried to reach for Pip and she couldn't get him with the Force. So she then needed to wait until it rolled towards her. So yeah, I'm just curious to see how Osha is going to potentially now redevelop her Force connection. But there's a lot to look forward to. The Wookiee Jedi was another thing, played by Jonas Suotomo, who's taken over for Peter Mayhew since, I think, The Force Awakens already. So, yeah, like, we know that he's able to play Chewbacca very well. He's able to play a Wookiee, so I'm curious to see how a Wookiee Jedi in live action looks like, because we have seen a Wookiee Jedi in animation with Gungi in the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch, but now in live action, that's definitely something else. So this show is still doing so many new things, and that's also just very exciting. We're seeing new things that we've never seen before in live action Star Wars television. That I'm like, show me what you got. I'm here for it.
Absolutely, and I agree with a lot of what you said. Yeah, the fact that Amanda Stenberg's playing two different characters and twin sisters, and it kind of brings up a little bit of a wink and a nod to Return of the Jedi. So you have a twin sister. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will. Never.
In this case, she did.
But she did. Like, she did turn dark, and now she's murdering Jedi. But the question, and now we kind of know her motives as to why. But at the same time, who's this puppet master? Who's the Dark Lord? Who's the one pulling all the strings? And what exactly we know certain things that happened on that planet of theirs that caused the fire that killed everyone in her family. But at the same time, what happened to the Jedi? What happened to some of those other characters and everything that happened with the aftermath of that or before it? So, and Osha trying to reconnect to the Force, and she can't do it. She tried to reach for Pip. She couldn't do it because she's been out of the game for over 6 years. She left the Jedi Order over 6 years ago. Now she's a mechanic, which I don't know why they don't just say the real word, which is mechanic. I don't know why they can't say mechanic in Star Wars. But
because mechanic is a somewhat Star Wars sounding name, I suppose.
I don't know. I don't know why they don't just say mechanic. She's a mechanic. I don't know. But anyway, that's another thing that kind of wigged me out. I'm like, why can't you just say mechanic like a normal person? Why do you have to call her a mechanic? That doesn't make sense. But then again, it's Star Wars. So what are you going to do? They're making this language up on the fly. I don't know. But anyway, my thoughts for this moving forward, I just look forward to seeing what happened in that flashback sequence. I hope Trinity gets a lot more screen time than just 5 freaking minutes. Because you can't kill. I mean, I don't know why I still don't think they should have killed her off that quickly. But anyway. That's my negative. That's being a little nitpicky because
I think they might have just done that because they wanted to have a big name to kill off that quickly so that everyone is like, oh shit, that just happened, and you're in it.
This is big. Like, this is really big. Like, don't expect people to be around for much longer because it's kind of like Game of Thrones. You like one person one day and then they die the next episode. Or something, depending on what you interpret when Game of Thrones. I've never seen an episode. Get off my back, people. Even though my friend Melanie,
get on it, Ryan. It's a good
I know
show.
Melanie keeps telling Melanie and you and a few other people are like, dude, you got to watch all 9 seasons. You got to.
Yes. No. Watch 7 seasons, then just stop.
Oh, 7 seasons, and then just stop. And well, let me ask you this: should I watch House of the Dragon afterwards?
Afterwards, yes.
Afterwards, watch House of the Dragon. All right, thanks for confirming that because isn't House of the Dragon starting up season 2 already or something?
Yep.
Thanks.
Like that. It's like right around the corner, or it's already happening. I don't know. Someone let me know what the date is. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to finding out more about this.
You haven't even seen Game of Thrones yet. You need to get through that first. So
That's
a release
true. I got a lot more
new
homework
season is not your concern right now.
Thank you. Yeah, Kate brings up a good point. But looking forward to find out more about this mystery. Very much looking forward to see how Amanda Stenberg is going to continue to play these two very different characters. Looking forward to all the other characters being thrown into the mix. Jen's on TV now. Congratulations. Or Vanessa Rowe. Fantastic. Daphne Keane I think is going to steal the show in a lot of ways. I think she's already done it in these first 2, but I'm very curious to see where she goes in the next 6. The Jedi Master Soul character, I like him. He doesn't jump to too many conclusions. He thinks, wait a minute, something isn't right. There's something more to this that we're not seeing. We gotta investigate this even further and not just go by some of the things we're feeling right now. Like, you got to take a step back and breathe for a minute. So I like that about him. I like that about his character. I think it's really cool, and I like the outfits. I think the costuming, the props, the visual effects, and the fighting choreography is it's really strong. So I'll give it that. Just looking forward to seeing how this mystery unfolds. Scale 1 to 5, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. There you go. I'm being very specific, Case. 4.5 out of 5.
I didn't give my rating, and I'm just going to say I give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh, you say 4 out of 5?
No decimals.
No decimals?
I was going to say 4 out of 5 too. No decimals. I kept on going back and forth between wanting decimals, but I said I'll just stick with 4 out of 5.
Jeez, Christy. All right. Well, it's all right. Hey, make your own decisions, young Padawan. Just remember one thing, Snips. Your focus determines your reality. Sorry, I had to drop some nuggets.
You also need to realize that they are what. Shit. How did it go again?
What was the line?
Man. I can't remember it.
Do you need
Yoda and the Last Jedi.
Failure, our greatest teacher is.
No, they are what you grow beyond or something. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm messing it up.
Do you remember this?
I remember the premise. I don't know the exact
quote that Yoda dropped in Last Jedi. Okay, never mind. But anyway, 4.5 out of 5 is where I'm going with this. But thank you so much for being with us.
We are what they grow beyond. There you go.
There it is. It took him a minute. But he finally figured it out. As far as I'm concerned, I'm very much looking forward to seeing where this goes. We hope you, who may be watching or listening to this, are going to be joining us for this wild ride, because the Nerdy Cantina is finally back after a several months absence. We were trying to figure out what to do with the show, and now we know what to do. Let's talk more about the Acolyte and some of the newer things that are happening in Star Wars. No problem, because things are happening all the time. We just had to wait for the right moment, and now we've carpe diem. We've seized the day. So we hope you've enjoyed this. So, Christy, if someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things that you're doing, which includes your wonderful artwork in the background of your studio and some of the upcoming shows you have coming up, where can they follow you on social media? Snips.
So you can find me on Instagram at Snips & Co, which is right over here. And I have a show a week from today, actually, at Fan Expo Boston, and then Contropolis in New Jersey in July. And then I also have another Instagram page called Admiral Reads, and that's where you can find some Star Wars book goodness over there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us. Do greatly appreciate it.
Thank
Kate,
you.
Someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things that you're doing. Where can they follow you on social media, my friend?
Well, I have my YouTube channel called the Dutch Star Wars Guy right here. You can follow me on Twitter at DutchSWGuy. That's pretty much it. I already have my reviews for the Acolyte up on my own channel with my own thoughts. So if you want to see my thoughts before I get onto this after show, you can go to my channel and check it out before I'm on here, and then you are spoiled on all my thoughts already.
Fantastic, good sir. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for the backgrounds and the thumbnails and everything you've done for us here on Anti-Quote Channel. Greatly appreciate you, good sir, and appreciate you and all our other guests who have joined us on this episode of the Nerdy Cantina. My name is, in fact, Ryan of Anti-Quote Channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Follow us across all forms of social media simply at Anti-Quote Channel. Links are in the description below of this video. Links to where you can, follow our guests and panelists are going to be located in the description as well. Lots of great things coming your way very soon. We have movie watch-alongs on the weekend, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, or Sundays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the flagship show, Anti-Quote, is on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. But the Nerdy Cantina is back. We're going to be live every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So tune in, watch us, join us, share your thoughts, opinions, all those things about Star Wars and the Acolyte in the comments, whether you're joining us live or on the replay. We thank you so much for being with us. We cannot do this without you. We greatly appreciate everyone who has supported us here at Anti-Quote Channel, whether you've been with us from the beginning or you're just tuning in and you're enjoying the ride right here, right now. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Once again, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified of when our videos go up or they go live, and help us reach 5,000 subscribers, because once we do grow through a great big live stream celebration, it's going to include returning guests, surprises, and special giveaways that you, our incredible viewers / subscribers, are going to be eligible to win. And remember, the Force will be with you always.
There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on. When you find people who need your help, you help them. No matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Rise in the Force.
Take care of us, little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.